We turn now to national security and the disturbing news tonight of a potential new threat from an Al-Qaeda-linked terrorist network. While the details of the plot are unclear, a U.S. law enforcement official compared the threat to the Mumbai terrorist assault of nearly 2 years ago. A coordinated commando-style shooting and bombing attack on multiple targets. Brian Ross is here with tonight's report. Brian?
Cynthia, senior U.S. and European officials tell ABC News tonight there is a credible threat of a major coordinated series of commando-style terror attacks against France, Germany, Britain, and possibly the U.S. The officials said no specific time or place was known, but that the plot had been detected after the capture this summer of a radicalized German citizen who reportedly had been training with others in Pakistan. Now a worldwide manhunt is underway, and Europe is on high alert. Tonight in Paris, police evacuated the Eiffel Tower for the second time in 2 weeks after a bomb threat was called in. No bomb was found today, but officials in France are taking no chances, given what they believe is a very real threat. We currently have reached a spike in the threat of an attack, which is unquestionable, the head of the French National Police said last week. As I speak to you this very moment, there is a specific threat against French interests, he added. This new threat to France, as well as Germany and Britain and the U.S., is coming from Pakistan, according to intelligence officials, in large part from a contingent of German citizens who have been recruited for a jihad against the West over the last 4 years.
Some are German converts, many are Turks, many are Arabs, and right now we already have the first Afghans and even Iranians in these circles. It's a very mixed bunch of different people, quite internationalist, quite unlike everything we have seen in Europe in recent years.
Dozens of Germans have been identified as attending terror training camps in Pakistan, producing videos in German in order to gain more recruits for their radical views.
They go, they want to get the training in Pakistan. Many are killed, but those who come back are a threat, and they are a threat not only to Germany, but also to our allies, and especially the US, because they are extremely anti-American.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Esoteric Worldviews. You'll have to excuse me if I seem a little bit tired, as I just woke up and saw some news about this latest imminent threat to Western civilization in the form of coordinated Mumbai-style terror attacks, which are supposed to be in the works by, you know, these extremist terrorists who just hate our freedom and such. So I guess there were some certain quote-unquote sources inside of the American and European establishment that gave the news this warning that imminent attack, there's an imminent danger, it's imminent threat. You know, I guess these guys have just never heard the story of the boy that cried wolf. As far as I'm concerned, I'm rooting for the jihadis at this point. I swear to God, at this point, if I had to take my pick, between the lesser of two evils, I for sure as hell choose the jihadis, because at least they're fighting off oppression. At least they're fighting in the name of their God. At least they're fighting selflessly, completely selflessly. They lay down their lives selflessly. I'm talking about the ones that fight Americans in Afghanistan, not the ones that go to Europe and blow up buses. If those are even terrorists to begin with, and not just, you know, Western intelligence people creating false flag operations. So I mean, it just blows my mind when you see the news segment like the one that I've just shown, and these people act like, oh yes, they show pictures of these guys in masks in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and act like they're just out there, you know, training to be terrorists, like for no reason, like as if we weren't there, they would be doing the same shit. Hey, wake up! They're out there training and fucking fight and learn how to fight and learn how to use guns because their country has been occupied or has been the subject of wars ever since the Mongolians, ever since the ancient Greeks, you know, and more recent times in the Soviet era. And in the post-Soviet era, we come in after we give them all these weapons and attack them, and they're in a perfect position to defend themselves. And we're engaged and embroiled in the perfect, endless war in that particular area of the world where there is this big scrambling for resources between the major Western powers which seek hegemony of the planet and the Eastern powers like China and India. So when I see this shit on the news, it just blows my mind. I mean, whatever happened to that, like, green, orange, red, blue scale of terrorism? You know, did that just, like, fade away because people realize how fucking ridiculous it is? Or are we just perpetually supposed to be on the guard for terrorism? We're just supposed to perpetually be vigilant. I'm sorry, Mr. FBI and CIA, you blew your chances with the first million imminent warnings that we get on TV every time we turn on the fucking news. Okay, I don't believe this bullshit about an imminent Mumbai-style terrorist attack in America. I think that shit would be exciting. Honestly, I think it would be very exciting if they were to go to, you know, some of the lesser, or maybe even some of the bigger, you know, districts in Germany, some of the bigger financial districts like Munich or City of London. How cool would that be if they just like did a Mumbai stuff? Because Mumbai, if you guys don't know what happened in Mumbai, I believe in 2004. Supposedly, Pakistani guerrillas came down in boats along the coast of Pakistan, and then came up the shore on these boats to Mumbai, which is the financial city of India, and they just instituted this commando-style raid where they just took over the city, you know, like straight up fucking like 300 BC style, like raiding party shit, like just took over the city and like killed a bunch of people, and they only caught one of them. And this is what they are saying is going to happen in America and Europe. Does anybody believe these motherfuckers anymore? I mean, I'm at a point where I'm ready to start helping, not helping, but recommending that everybody to just completely stop being on the side of the occupiers, the Americans and the Europeans. Fuck all them, you know what I mean? I identify much more with these jihadis who are trying to fight for their freedom. I'm no Muslim, but I am for those who fight from their heart if they have to fight. If they're forced to fight and their heart calls them to and they follow that, I'm for that. Americans, we don't fight in the foreign wars from our heart. We fight from our minds. Our minds which tell us it's a patriotic duty. Bullshit. Our minds which tell us that it'll give us money for college. Our minds which tell us that oh yeah, they attacked us, so it's our turn to get vengeance. You know, one of the main causes for the 9/11 attack, if indeed that it was some kind of random attack from Osama bin Laden, who just happens to be, you know, one of the most powerful families in Saudi Arabia. You know, if it is in fact that this former CIA asset who happens to be one of the most powerful, happens to be one of the most powerful families in one of America's closest allies, Saudi Arabia. If he is an asset of us, like there is much evidence pointing to the fact that he is, then, you know, we weren't even attacked by radical Muslim extremists on 9/11. You know, we were attacked by our own ignorance, by our own lack of foresight. America has this problem only seen in the very close future, very short-sighted country intelligence operations, a very short-sighted political scheme. So, you know, we create this monster Osama, and we create all these monstrosities in the Middle East, like our military bases in the sacred Muslim land of Saudi Arabia near Mecca. What about our support for Palestine, or excuse me, our lack of support for Palestine, and our continuing military aid to the Zionist regime in Israel? You know, these are things that are listed by Osama as causes for 9/11. And now what? We're just going to go over there guns blazing and keep doing the same shit and expect different results? You know, of course there's going to be more terrorist attacks against America. Of course there's going to be an increase in possibility of these strikes. Of course. We don't need friggin' overpaid, namby-pamby, you know, bullshit, false patriot, intelligence Nazis to tell us the shit. We understand that, okay? And Mr. Whatever your name is on ABC News, you're not doing us any fucking good by just coming on the news and scaring the bejesus out of people. Why don't you tell people why it is that they hate us? And it's not for our freedom.